What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now today is actually May 2nd now, so we're technically or officially now behind schedule. So we haven't made the grill for the trunk yet, I haven't installed the water injection, and I still need to install my dual pump, which this one I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, because I think I'm going to have my local machine shop make me a custom top hat, which could take some time. And then there's the spring and struts. I haven't even ordered that yet. Now these I can do fairly easily. This we're actually gonna do today because you know it's right there. And then we gotta do this for May. So yeah, we're really behind, guys. We gotta get going. I actually need to add one more, which is the heater core. So the heater core is gonna be a last minute change on this build. But before I pull the engine, I actually need to route the heater core lines because I need to know if it's gonna get in the way or not. So we really need to get started and put on the brakes. Now for this episode, I'll probably only show you guys one side just because it's a disc brake and the rest is probably all the same. I said probably because I haven't actually done a brake job on an S4, so we'll be kind of going into it not knowing what's the setup look like. Now for the brake rotors, I'll be using a Melee brake rotors. Is that how you say that, by the way? Melee? I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce that. Now, I'm not much of a brake person, so take this into consideration, but when I was looking this up, it doesn't seem like there's advantage between standard brake rotor versus slotted versus a cross-drilled. So that is why I decided to go with a Melee brake rotor. So the cost of this is a lot cheaper than those other options. Now, when it comes to brake pads, however, that seems to matter a whole lot more. Now, I decided to go with a EBC Yellow because it seems like you will get less brake fade if you do actually use your brakes really hard. Now hopefully I got the right brake pads because this thing says Audi A6. But with any brake pads, those are usually interchangeable with other cars, so then I just gotta rip it out and just make sure that it's the right one before I actually, put it on. So for my track, guys, is there anything I need to watch out for with the EBC Yellow? I don't typically upgrade the brake pads to this level. Alright, so that is the intro for the brakes, so let's get to work. Don't you just love it when you're working in a car and you're like, who's that idiot that tightened this bolt this hard? And then you remember it was you. So, yeah. On a side note, guys, check out the difference between what's currently on there versus what's coming in the future. Look at the size difference on these two. Alright, so I know I'm not going to be using this. I actually clipped it right there on the inside. But I will put back the cover. Whoa, where are you going? I'll put back this cover just to keep, stuff from going inside the cabin. So, looks like we're just gonna have to take this and I guess you turn that like that. And for this one, there's like a little clip right here. Again, if I'm putting this back, I wouldn't be as careless as that, but since I'm not, just coming right out. Brake pads sensor. Right here is for the anti-lock. I think I could actually take this out all the way, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And this one's just like an Allen wrench on there, so let's go ahead and take that out now. I'm kind of wondering, can I get something jammed in there which could cause some problems? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to put that cover on just in case. Alright, I'm not really sure how to take this off. It seems like this thing is pushing down, so it looks like by design you could technically rotate it out this way. So let's try that. Yeah. Okay. But it seems like this is how you do it. So if it's not, let me know in the comment section, guys. But just by the look of how they design it, it looks like that's how you do it, right? Yeah? Yes or no? Let me know. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and push back the piston, whichever side has the piston. Looks like this side has the piston, and this side is just the frame, so I guess piston on this side. This actually has pretty good brake pads left. I don't know why it's making noise. I was thinking I was pretty low already, but it's not. Alright, I think I got the brake pads bottomed out. Ah, they got Brembo. Nice. Alright, so it looks like we have some Brembo reds on here. I don't know if it's actually Brembo reds, but you know, it has the red red sides there. I don't know if my EBC yellows are better than this or not, but it's still coming off because this is old. Now let's check our EBC yellow before I go and pull everything else out. Alright, let's see. Moment of truth, guys. Moment of truth. Pads are the same, but the case outside is bigger, so shoot, maybe not. Oh, you know what? I take that back. There's two different brake pads on here. One's is this size right here. That means these other ones right here are the smaller ones. Oh yeah, these are the smaller ones. So that's gonna be this one. That's good. Okay. I don't remember which side went where though. So I'm gonna stop this video and rewatch my video which side came out of what, because I don't recall which one goes to which side. So it looks like this one right here is the one that goes to the outside, and this pin goes right in the spot right here. So just remember, this goes to the back, this goes to the front, and this wire right here goes nowhere. Done. Now if you have a factory setup, you're gonna need that wire. Okay, so don't do that part. Alright, next up is we need to take out this bolt that's holding this cable or this bracket. So now that that's loose, I can get access to that bolt right there to take out this caliper. There should be two, one here and then one a little bit in the bottom. So I was thinking that bolt is 17, but it's actually 18. So keep that in mind. And let's see. Ow. Whoever did that one did not tighten that at all. So, alright, learned my lesson from the first one. Second one should not be that tight. Yep. Well now I feel safe that I've been driving with the not so tight bolt on this caliper. Alright, that's one. Great, that makes two. Hopefully it doesn't hang too low. It's okay. Yeah, it's fine. Alright. So now we can take out the rotor. So this rotor actually looks pretty good, as you guys can see right there. Until you turn it around. Then you're like, oh, what is that? Now I do have a little bit of a surprise. Because we're removing all the lug nuts out, we're actually going to convert it at the same time. So instead of going with the Wobble Bolts, I decided to go with this hardware. Alright, so I got this from Motorsport Hardware, and it basically converts your lug nut into a stud, but also, because of this step down right here, it should allow me to run the 5x114.3 lug pattern versus just sticking with the Audi. Just gonna test fit to make sure. First order of business, looks like we got a problem here. You guys see that? Now it looks like this stud is actually bottoming out and hitting this. So now you can't even rotate this. So I can't tighten it unless I trim this stud, which is about 2-3 threads. I think 2 or 3 threads should be good. Of course, nothing comes so simple, so yeah, let's do that. Great, so that should take us a little bit more time to do now. Alright, so I got the right height here. By the looks of it, you're gonna need to trim down about that much. Alright guys, so check this out, it's kind of funny. But I struggled to cut the first two, and I decided to put a wood in the bottom and just, push down with my foot. And what ended up happening was I ended up with like a template, and this thing kind of falls into this little groove, and then you just cut on that line. Pretty quick, so pretty easy. So I'm glad this thing worked out well. Alright, so now we are back. Alright guys, so check out the clearance on there. The bolt sits pretty much flushed, which is really good. So I think we're good to go. Alright, let's check this out. This could be problematic. Oh wait, nope, never mind, self-centered. Centered itself out. Let's see. how about slug pattern? Is this the same? Okay, so it looks like the other one is a different lug pattern, so I'll have to use this one right here. And it is self-centered, so we're good. Alright, so now let's go ahead and put back the caliper. Alright, I think we're good. Yeah, I think everything's good. Things flushed. Alright guys, so this looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and put back the wheel. But before we do that, let's actually go ahead and try this wheel again, because I've never actually tested this wheel with the stud conversion. Alright guys, we have a problem. So this may be a little bit hard to see on the camera, but even with an M12 conversion, or I think it's an M12, M14 to M12, even with that conversion, so a smaller stud here, it still looks like it's gonna have some wobbling issue. I'm not sure why people would say that you could run it like this. I mean, I could see, like, let's say I add a hub-centric ring in there, right? But you could literally crush that a little bit, that it's offset just a tad bit. And that's gonna cause some wobble, I think. Not good guys. Not good at all. Now I don't think the tread locker is fully seated yet, so let's go ahead and take that out before he does. And then yeah, I think we're gonna go back to a wobble bolt, which was of course the original plan. As you guys can see here, I already actually test fit it with the other one. Yeah, we're gonna have to go back to this. So let's see if I could actually take one out and then put one in there and show you guys. Fun. Alright. This is not gonna end well. Yep. Not going to end well. Alright, so this thing should work in theory. Ugh. Come on. Nope, didn't work. Oh my gosh. Well, earlier it was reading it at 300, so somewhere around 250 or so. It looks like it made it a lot easier to take off the bolt with a tread lock. So gonna go ahead and do that for the other one, which is this one right here that's stuck. Alright, wait, where'd it go? It kind of fluctuates quite a bit, so about 200 right now. This might help somebody else out who might get stuck in this kind of scenario. And I guess this is how you take off a stud or a bolt that has been tread locked. So first thing I'm doing is heating it up, and I was able to take it off at about 150 to 170 degrees. Alright guys, so got the 5 studs out, and now it's time to put back the bolt. Just to make sure that it's gonna go in there freely and not get stuck like that. I already tried to clean it with this metal brush, but it's not getting everything out. So what I did is I cut like a little groove on a old stud, because I'm not going to reuse this one. And the idea is it should scrape off the remaining part with this little part right here. Okay, so it's like cutting into whatever's left over there. So tighten that up. Alright, now that we're done with that little side quest, let's go back to what we're doing. Alright, so here it is with the wobble bolts. I actually feel more comfortable with having this wobble bolts than the tuner lugs. And they do look like they center the wheel a lot more. Again, that's without any hub-centric ring. So it should help out even more with the hub-centric when setting it up. Now the downside that I see with the wobble bolts is when you have to do the two that are kind of offset a little bit, those you're kind of wondering whether or not you're cross-threading it. So you gotta really take your time and make sure you're not cross-threading it. Because I know it's pretty hard to turn. It almost feels like you're cross-threading it, but you're not. Aside from that, I think the fitment on the wobble bolt looks a lot better. Alright, so at this point, I'm actually going to go ahead and do the brakes on the back and also test fit that wheel. in there. The reason being is I need to figure out how much or how far of a fender I need. I don't know how long I need to buy, whether or not it's, I don't know, 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches, whatever it may be that I need. I need to know that before I can order it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on the back. If there's something there I need to show you guys, I'll do that. If not, if it's the same as this, then I'm not going to show that part. Alright, so the back one is different enough that might as well show you guys the difference there. So the first thing I'm taking off is the caliper. So this is actually looks like a pretty standard style caliper. So I'm going to take off the caliper first, and then I'll take off the bracket afterwards. Oof, the heck? End up going to my local auto parts store, because apparently you need an actual brake caliper tool to put this caliper back. Come on, it's going in. Alright, I think that's as far as it goes. Alright, so it looks like I was able to put it back just enough. So let's go ahead and now take off the actual caliper. Alright, so it looks like there's a couple bolts, one right here and then one more in the bottom. This thing is 8. Alright, so here's a tricky one. This thing fits in here, but now I don't have clearance to do this. I guess I could technically remove this, but because I have another one of this, I'm just gonna cut this right about here. Alright, so now with my custom socket here, it's not really a socket, it's an Allen wrench. Now I can go in there and I have enough space to actually get a ratchet in here. Could use a little bit more leverage, but well, at least with this one I could definitely say it was the last owner that had tightened that back up. Whew, my goodness. Now the question is, how do you take this off? I think it's just on there, right? Must be missing something, guys. There we go. No biggie. Alright guys, so it looks like we're gonna need roughly about 3 inches in the front. And also about 3 inches on the back. It actually doesn't stick out too far out. Alright, so I put back the wheels already, and apparently either the rotor's hub is thinner or my brake pads is just too thick, that now with this setup I now apparently hit. So that's no good. What I'm gonna have to do is order some new spacer, you know, temporary spacer, maybe like the thinnest one. I think it's like 3 mm. I don't know if they sell anything thinner than that. So I'm gonna get a spacer for this side. Actually the two fronts. The rear one seems to be okay, so we're okay there, but the front ones, So with that said, we are back in the board, and I'm gonna call the brake rotor and pads complete. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.